Hi, I'm Empress Rose, and this is the High Priestess. Card number 2. It's the third card, but it's called card number 2 because remember, Fool is 0. So we have the Fool card, I'm excited. The Magician card, I'm planning. And the High Priestess card, I wonder how this journey is going to go. I think I need more information. So the High Priestess here sits between Keter and Tiferet, right on this channel, right between the divine impulse and the heart of the matter. On that pathway, right in the center here. There's a purity to the High Priestess. So for me, the High Priestess is oftentimes the tarot itself, the deck itself. We're consulting this deck for how this journey is going to go. What do you think is going to happen? What should I plan for? What do I need to be aware of? And the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the High Priestess can represent you, the person who is asking tarot for direction. But to me, it's usually tarot in the sense of consulting tarot. Now, both of these columns also show up in the Hierophant card. So this is talking to me about the structure of a spiritual life, spirituality. So the Hierophant card is very patriarchal, very established. This is, to me, more feminine spirituality, more intuitive or direct connection. So she's holding a scroll, information, and it says Torah, but it's partially obscured. So this High Priestess is never going to give us all of the information. She's never going to give us the summary, spoilers included, of the film, of the movie. This is just a little excerpt. There's a little bit of information, maybe even a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a trailer. The trailer's not, I hate it when trailers give away spoilers. So she's not going to give away, she doesn't give you spoilers. She's going to give you sort of an overview. Like this is, do I want to go on this journey? Do I want to watch this movie? Well, Netflix is going to give you a little bit of information. Do you want to watch the movie? You may end up hating the movie, but the trailer looked good. So this is sort of the trailer of where you're going. And a very important thing to understand with the High Priestess is she's not going to give you all of the information. She's going to give you what she wants you to know. If she wants you to go on this journey, in particular, if she wants you to hit all of these spots and cha-ching off of all of these spots, she isn't going to just, she's going to tell you part of it, but she's not going to tell you the whole thing. Because if you knew all of this over here, you might not go on the journey. If you knew it was going to be all like this, or you thought it was going to be just hitting this side, you would have unrealistic expectations. So in some ways, she's a little bit about expectations management here. So here's the intuition here. She's almost always shown partially cloaked because the not all will be revealed in any tarot reading. In any divination practice or any spiritual practice, it's not all going to be revealed. So Rider-Waite called her the Queen of Borrowed Light. It's a lot like the Moon card, but a little bit different. It's more, the Moon card to me is more about subconscious things that aren't revealed because we haven't pulled them up. We haven't dealt with that part of things that will be revealed in time. This is more about sort of the divine, what the divine wants to reveal to you. This is more intentional. And the Moon card to me is more subconscious, unintentional, psychological. And this is more spiritual, our connection to the divine, right? She's got this direct connection to the divine right here. So in this deck, the Golden Tarot, we have possibly my favorite High Priestess. No, maybe not, but she's one of my favorites. This is a depiction of Pope Joan. Pope Joan, the High Priestess used to be called Pope Joan. Pope Joan was a very early pope. She was disguised as a man, and this is very important to what the High Priestess is to me. She was disguised as a man, discovered she was a woman when she went into labor. The church, the patriarchal nature of the church stoned her and her child. So now it's considered sort of just a story or a legend, but at some point it was considered very real. And I think there is a lot of evidence for her real existence. And many years ago, probably 20, 25 years ago, I was Pope Joan for Halloween. It was wonderful. I gave everyone sacraments and wine. It was a very good time. So So here she is. She's got her book closed. Oh, I do want to continue talking about female spirituality, right? So she was stoned because women were, and still in many patriarchal religions, not allowed to be spiritual teachers. So where can women do this, right? This is a woman who was born to be a spiritual teacher, born to be a spiritual leader, but the patriarchal, and not to be anti-men, but the hierarchical nature of established legal spirituality, the church would not allow women to teach, and still in many cases does not today. So where do they go? They turn to tarot. They turn to more personal spirituality. And the two could coexist very peacefully, except we have one that always wants to destroy the other. So because that is the nature of authority, is to destroy, is to authoritative, not necessarily authority, but authoritative structures like that is a need for conformity and a need for everyone to be, giving their money and their time and their attention and their loyalty to the patriarch, right? So, and women weren't allowed and had access to this. So this is where I think tarot is incredibly crucial. It's a more feminine way of interacting with spirituality, more personal way of, and it has to do with a woman's power, because Pope Joan would represent a woman not having any power in an established spiritual practice or spiritual, I hesitate to call it spiritual, but an established religious structure like that. The woman has no power. So the woman's power is more internal and personal. This book is closed, I think in part because the structures of knowledge would be closed off to female participants and female leadership. So, but I think also it's closed because the tarot doesn't want to reveal everything. It's not going to tell you every aspect of it, some part. And we see a closed book repeatedly. We see, the hidden scroll here, and we see the closed book here, as far as like some information will not be available to you. So in my discussion of femininity and patriarchy and all of that, obviously is not to say that men aren't part of tarot. They're a crucial, important part of tarot. It's just a different way, a more receptive way rather than penetrative way of dealing with spirituality, a more internal spirituality versus the external structure, which we have with the Hierophant. Just looking at basic structures of the feminine and the masculine. So there are so many great male readers. It is female heavy, but in some ways, if you were male and you were spiritual and you wanted to engage with that, there would be other paths available to you. So I think that's why it can tend to be more associated with femininity. So we have this High Priestess here. And this High Priestess, this shell here around her neck in the throat chakra color, is talking about internal wisdom and accessing that, versus this externalized wisdom, which is the book, which is locked and shut. We also have these theater curtains, what's going to be revealed, what's not going to be revealed. Intuition by this crescent moon, always crescent moon showing up over here as well. And then what can be revealed and what can't be revealed, and following your own intuition and your own inner knowing and your own inner voice through this journey, and trusting that spirit and the divine speaks to you through your own intuition, through this moon. In the Apparition deck, we have the High Priestess card here, again with just straight pure symbols. So here we have what's known, and here we have reaching into the unknown, reaching into intuition, into the unseeable areas, the less obvious areas, looking for some sort of information, looking for a prize, looking for something else, something that you can take back to reality to help build with your understanding of what's going on in your reality. So reaching into the mystery, reaching into the mysterious, into the unknown, to gain something, to find something there, some sort of treasure and something you can bring back into your life. We have this High Priestess here. Again, the book is closed. The information will not be external. It'll be internal. It'll be coming through to you in a much different way. That's not to say that you can't consult another tarot reader or anything like that. That's just to say it's not part of the canon. It's not part of the religious text here. It's outside of that. And so so the wisdom of the universe, this has stars in here. The wisdom of the universe is within, is part of you, and it's covering her throat. So I think it is about speaking some part of the universe here. Intuition, trusting your own inner voice again, and that is connected to the divine, right? We have this direct connection to the divine that pierces actually through our third eye, our intuition here, as well as our voice right here. The High Priestess piercing through both of those places. So our intuition, the High Priestess has that from the divine through to the intuition, through to our voice and our inner voice. We also have this one from the Muse Tarot, again tapping in to intuition right here. What can be revealed, what cannot be revealed, what can be seen, what cannot be seen. We're going to be playing with that duality here because the tarot has no intention of revealing everything. That's a different and there's a sense too of like the arrogance of knowing something, and we'll get into that when we talk about the reversal. That you could somehow know that everything is revealed and know everything about how a situation is going to play out. I love and adore this High Priestess from the Guardians of the Night deck. It's a bat. Sees very differently. Sees into that dark, right? We have the dark here. This bat sees differently. This bat receives the vibrations of the things around it and navigates through that. Navigates perfectly in the dark where others cannot see, where others cannot navigate through. Their more obvious means, their books, their maps are not useful in this type of environment. What is useful is this absorption of the vibrations, of this paying attention, of this hearing with the eyes, hearing in touch with your environment through much more subtle means than vision. Here we have the intuition here coming through here. Sometimes in a more intuitive reading, I would be, looking at the star. What's the star feel like? I might pay attention to these clouds. There's a lot of uncertainty in a situation. These flowers talking about manifesting, bringing things into existence. And a way too, I could say, like appreciating the world through a very different lens than being able to appreciate something and see something in the dark and appreciate its beauty in the dark, even though it's less obvious beauty. So tapping into intuition, heading into the dark, seeing things in a different way, understanding that this isn't the place for everything to be revealed. So let's talk about the reversal. The reversal is going to be, I took some notes on that. The reversal of this is going to be being overly rational, leaving no room for the mysterious, and to me a sense of knowing and certainty, and certainly where there's nothing where there shouldn't be. So sometimes with our religion and stuff and all of this stuff in the books, people can argue and debate that from a place of thinking that they know, thinking that they're certain. The High Priestess has no room for uncertainty or for certainty. That is arrogance here. How could you possibly know? How could anyone know how this trip and this journey is going to go? You can't. She's going to reveal some key things to you, some things to watch out for. If we're going on a road trip, hey, watch out for that turn. People miss it all the time. You might want to get an oil change before you go, that kind of thing. But if you're going to set out on some sort of journey with some sort of idea that you know everything and you see everything, you're in for some very unpleasant surprises, most of all to your ego. So this can also be feeling disconnected from your spiritual purpose, feeling disconnected from your intuition, and not seeing something, something's being withheld from you. And I would say, again, as it contrasts with the moon card, intentionally withheld. Something's intentionally withheld from you. This would be, the universe is going to withhold some information about this journey from you for your own benefit. And this could be, depending on its placement, if this were an external, I'd say someone's withholding information for you, and it may not be to your highest purpose and your benefit. So a disconnect from your higher purpose, a disconnect from your intuition. in a sense of the arrogance of knowing where everything's going to go, and the arrogance of knowing, right? Tarot to me is not a place of knowing and certainty. I think it would be an error to bring certainty into any kind of tarot reading. So it's a best guess based on the energies kind of situation here. So I hope that that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me in this discussion of the High Priestess.